Hey guys, this is Arash Kola from Shaman. We have something very exciting today happening here. We're going to host a roundtable to discuss the ownership experience of the Rocket 3. It's been about 2 years that we've had the Rocket 3 over here with us in India. There have been customers who've ridden down all across India on various terrains, probably roads, no roads, tarmac, cornering, cruising, and they've been going gaga about the product. So we are here for the first time ever, probably in India and maybe across the globe, because I haven't seen something like this being hosted by any dealership anywhere else. I am very happy and excited to host the first roundtable meetup for the Rocket 3 owners, and we're really looking forward to some excellent interaction. So hold on and be there. I am Arash Kola. We are here at Shaman, and I'd like to thank you all for coming here. We are here today for the first time. This is happening across India, and I think probably across the world, where we are sitting across on a round table to discuss the ownership experience of the Triumph Rocket 3. You guys together here have done some madness, some mad rides across India. You've done some about 100,000 kilometers all across various parts of India, and you come from different genre of motorcycling. Some who've been here for the first time directly into motorcycles, when the others have had some good experience with superbikes before, right? So the whole idea is that we are here, we'll discuss about the hits, the misses, the overall experience that we've shared for all this time. We've like 2 years that we've had this new generation of the Rocket 3 here in India, and it's about 1 year that we've started the Rocket 3 Club Mumbai and probably India too. So let's discuss, guys. This is a 2500cc.
Excited and happy to be here, bro.
So thanks to Shaman Triumph and Arash for having us here.
Thank you.
I mean, I've ridden multiple brands of motorcycle, big bikes, Harley Davidson, Ducati, and a couple of Harley Davidson for that matter. I think my love for Triumph Rocket 3 as a machine started in, say, the year 2013 with the previous generation Rocket 3. The machine looked very intimidating, and I was always wanting to buy one, but unfortunately the Triumph's launch in India was delayed quite a bit, so I had to settle down for a fat boy back then, and then I didn't want to upgrade or change. But then when I saw Triumph relaunching or the new iteration of the Rocket or the second generation of the Rocket 3, I had to get it. And I would say I did the best decision of my life, and the way I've enjoyed myself on the motorcycle is phenomenal. The sheer pleasure of acceleration, the torquiness of the engine, I mean, nothing comes closer.
Okay, lovely. Lorenzo, let's hear some from you.
I had this opportunity to buy the Thunderbird, which again was...
The Triumph Thunderbird.
Yeah, the Triumph Thunderbird.
How many cc was that?
There was no going back onto the Bullet after...
It was a 1600cc. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was a 1700cc,
1699 to be precise.
Wow.
And yes, so that was the second bike. Again, heavy, which did better on in straight lines.
Correct.
And my buying the Triumph Rocket 3, I think Arash will give a better hypothesis of that.
We'll get to nailing him to the wall in a bit. You should be a motorcycles.
I was riding Fat Bob earlier. I hardly rode. I didn't get time to ride, but I was just going through the couple of pictures guys sent. This is a new Rocket 3. Actually, I came to the showroom when it opened and tried the earlier Rocket version.
Yeah, the
I'm
previous
almost
variant,
almost 5'11", but my feet could not touch. So I said I'm not going to buy that.
Yeah.
I took a small
It was
turn and
fat,
came.
it was broad.
So
the
I
old
came,
rockets
this is
were broad, yes. They had a broader seat.
So at the
your
moment
legs-
they opened, I think they opened, and then after 1 month I was just passing by here, I stopped, took a ride, put it back and then gone back. So after that I was seeing the photo, I said whether is my feet touching the ground or not, is so good looking नहीं होगा तो garage में खड़े कर दूंगा.
Yeah.
So that's the reason.
You saw the
No,
first
no.
rocket.
I didn't ride
No, I'm
anything.
saying the first generation, you saw it. You didn't like it, your feet didn't touch.
Yeah.
The second generation, you didn't even see the motorcycle.
I
No,
didn't see the photo.
he has
No,
seen
no, no,
the-
no, no.
he's
There is a
seen it on-
difference. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
butting in.
Huh.
Not that he didn't like it.
His feet didn't reach the ground.
No, I didn't. I say it's like it's too this thing to ride.
It was basically too intimidating at that
Frankly,
point
the
of time.
first generation rocket was so intimidating
Yeah.
क्योंकि उसका एक चक्कर मैंने भी लिया था
Yeah.
और पूरे समय में पूरे चक्कर में I could
Throttle touch ही नहीं किया था आपने.
ना मैंने throttle touch किया
He
ना
didn't do.
मैंने
He just
पाँव
left the
उठाए।
clutch. The bike went.
So
I could see it wobbly.
I zipped
I
it.
did not
I
have
zipped
the
it.
courage to put
gone
my feet on the foot
I
pedal.
gone from here and वो airport के नीचे flyover से लेके वापस आया. So I rode some good 3-4 kilometer, but I didn't find it this thing.
Yeah, you didn't buy
But
it.
this one,
yeah.
I see the photo. I said, अगर
So
इतनी
this is-
good looking है तो ले ही लो फिर देखी जाएगी.
Yeah, so this was just like on paper, the bike
But
was
on the paper, it looked nicer because he
Yeah.
knew that the old one was 360 kilos,
Correct.
368. The new one is 40 kgs lighter, looks smaller slightly, you know, or more manageable
It's more compact,
motorcycle.
in a way.
More
to
closer
look
to
at.
his
I
handy
wanted to
sort.
buy GT.
लड़का गुड लुकिंग है कितना नालायक होगा
Let's get on. So, I mean, I've been riding a motorcycle for, let's say, officially 14 years since I got my license. उसके पहले की बातें नहीं करेंगे. And the first big bike I got was the Hayabusa back in the day. And I think the first time I saw the second generation Hayabusa when it broke its character and launched in 2008, that motorcycle just was the bike of my dreams. I was in the market looking for a motorcycle. I was turning 30 in 21. And at that time I was just, you know, I saw the BMWs, I saw the Ducatis, I saw the Diavel, I saw a lot of these big bikes, and I said, you know, I don't want to get into a liter class bike because again, that's speed, and now I want to look at something that's more fun to tour on, that I wouldn't end up riding for a couple of 100 kilometers and then being like, bro, we need a day's break. So ended up coming to the showroom. I think they had a motorcycle parked here, which is most probably Varun's Badola sir's bike. Because his bike is the showcase bike, everyone has had a chance to, you know, touch and feel it. So, I mean, I saw the motorcycle and I was sold, you know.
तुमको फोटो जो भेजी थी वो मेरे बाइक की भेजी थी इसने.
So he's just saying silently कि मेरी वाली कहीं दूर है.
पहले बहुत सारे रिश्ते परिवार के अंदर ही हुए हैं
I'll confess, इन दोनों का बाइक बता के मैंने जो बाइक्स बेची है, too good. I sold many
Till then,
rockets.
now you will hear stories about ये बाइक heavy है, heavy क्या? पता है कहाँ लोग लेके गए हैं इसको? So we have ridden the bike. But when you see a machine like this, when you see 2500 cc, 330 kgs, with a single-sided swing arm, you know, something where the engine encases its entire chassis, it's part of it, you know. A bike that just absolutely, like what Keshav Bhaiya said, looks so beautiful. There is no turning around, you know. So I didn't get a ride on it. I didn't get a chance to. There was no negotiating on price. There was nothing. Like, so you gotta wait for it, you know. And I had a deal. I was turning 30 in Jan, and I said if I get it till the last date of January, I will do this, or otherwise, you know, we'll look elsewhere. And yeah, that's how me and my motorcycle met. And then ever since that, it's just been history.
One question to everybody. Alok is still left, but just a question. जितने लोग यहाँ पे बैठे हैं, आरएस को छोड़ के कितनों ने रॉकेट 3 टेस्ट राइड की थी खरीदने से पहले?
I didn't.
He wasn't there.
हम में से किसी ने नहीं की.
So almost whoever's bought it, I've bought it without a test ride. Genuinely.
तो मैं तो पहली थी, मैं तो
आपने तो बस देखी है. मैंने said कि बढ़िया दिख रही है.
ऐसे साउथ में देखी नहीं मैं तो.
Now the dealerships go and tell, okay, this person bought it, you go talk to him for his experience. I didn't have an experienced person to talk to. Okay, how does bike?
But how did you now? This is your first motorcycle with gears.
Yeah, we all want to know that. I mean, how
Yeah,
did you
I
end up
So
there?
this is, I mean, for me it is like very intrigued. I have always been intrigued that for a person, and I know a couple of people who their first bike was a fat boy.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Correct.
never rode a motorcycle ever in their life,
Correct.
and they
Right.
bought straight away fat
Just
boy, which
taken
is
the
again
leap
a
and directly
very
gone
heavy
there.
machine.
Yeah.
Correct. But I mean, this with 220 Newton meters of torque on tap, I have friends who ride motorcycles, but I yet don't let them ride this motorcycle because it is not safe. I would say for a first timer or a noob or a newbie.
You cannot tame it.
Honestly, the way we have been brought up,
Yeah.
at least I have been, right? I've been into motorcycles since I was a kid. We have been brought up this way where you go on to 100 and a 250 and a 400, 600,
Yes.
1000.
Step
Because
evolution.
you gradually understand and learn the power.
Correct.
The delivery of the power, overall workmanship. This man has done absolutely the opposite.
150 cc
He
to
decided
25
to marry way above his status.
It is but this is called go big or go home to another level.
Absolutely.
I have not had. I knew how to change gears. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Okay. And then so ठीक है, this is possible to do.
चेंज गए तो ठीक है, क्लच छोड़ना आता था, वो ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है.
Exactly. So that involves
Changing gears is a part of class.
So now I bought it. I saw this bike, and initially I got to Triumph showroom in Pune, and there I saw the old Rocket, and he started it up and like big noise. I'm like, nah, this is not my kind of thing. Then a few months later, I saw this photo somewhere. Like, this looks nice. And Triumph, and naam suna hai. It looks same showroom there. I had no idea what is inline 3, what force.
Absolutely no.
Nothing. So my bike of choice at that point was Activa. उसपे भी I don't think I might have done a few 100 kilometers of it. ऐसा कुछ long riding किया है, कुछ नहीं. यहाँ से अंडा ब्रेड लेके और that kind of riding I've done. So like cool. And when I saw the bike, this looks nice. So the Triumph dealership there was, okay, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. So they put me on these, the speed twin, then the Tiger.
Gradually,
adopt a
something-
liability. इसको तुमने bike दी कैसे?
He wanted to make sure that was is
You
this
are
guy,
okay and
is he okay? Look, jokes apart, he to Ganesh from Triumph Pune,
Yeah.
he did a good job with helping me get the confidence. Because at one point I was like,
Graduate through the
I'm
motorcycles.
taking my deposit back and I am buying a speed twin. I'm not doing this. But finally I got it and started riding over time, and within about say 22 months, I've done about 28,000 kilometers. So
Wow.
I must be doing something right.
Incredible. Incredible.
Somebody who had an Activa, उसने जो गियर डालने शुरू किए तो उसके गियर अभी तक
रुके
डल रहे
नहीं।
हैं. जितने यहाँ पे बैठे हुए हैं, किसी ने 25,000 एक you crossed 25.
Yeah.
So probably
must have, yeah.
you have done the
I crossed
maximum
25
kilometers.
I crossed 25 in our Rajasthan tour at Udaipur.
So let me ask you this.
सर शायद ही किए होंगे.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think
Could maybe around 20,
तो कर क्या रहा
25
है?
could
What
be.
are you doing with the bike?
मेरा 27 क्रॉस हो गया.
तो अंडा ब्रेड से इतनी नहीं चल सकती this.
So this I have not done this for underbread. I have done this for long rides, and to be very honest, at this point now I use it as my daily bike.
I was just going to say that in my opinion, we all are using it as a primary bike, except so I think you might have a second bike.
yeah.
What I did
Pay
was
attention
last
to,
week,
yeah.
Delhi had this restriction on BS4 diesel
Correct,
vehicles.
correct.
So I was taking the Rocket to the office every day. So
Okay.
what is good is that the maneuverability in traffic is
Yeah.
far better on a Rocket than on a Road King that I have.
I've
100%,
experienced
I
this now. I've started to learn how this thing maneuvers now, and thankfully.
After riding 28,000 kilometers.
Wow.
Thankfully or not thankfully, I don't live in Bombay, so this kind of traffic. So I would
Your
not
realization is
I
not
know.
in sync with your.
Yeah.
Fellow guys sitting around. Yeah.
I know.
In 28,000 kilometers, this is the gentleman's first visit to Mumbai.
Wow.
Then he lives in Pune
Wow.
with the bike.
Outstanding.
Like I have gone to
I've
Pune
actually
to
come to
20,
Bombay
30
with the
times.
bike for this event.
Wow.
I have not gone to Bombay before.
Outstanding. No, we
So
really thank you for
I
doing
will
this,
say
but-
that on super bikes I have done 110,000 kilometers.
Wow.
Yeah.
The 17,000 kilometers that I have been able to put on the Rocket are probably the best in terms of enjoyment, I would say.
agree. I agree. I'm sure
I mean,
the
it's,
feeling
I
is
mean,
likewise
honestly,
for
it's
everybody.
right to ride environment to environment.
I
There-
take this
there
out
are-
in full traffic.
Yeah,
full
absolutely.
traffic in Pune.
So my
But your
experience,
Pune
right?
full traffic
Is very
Mumbai,
different from
yeah.
Different,
That's why I
yeah.
stayed in
That's what I
Bombay
said.
traffic.
It's situation to situation, ride to ride.
Yeah.
You know, and coming to rides, let's talk about each of us has a memory to our favorite rides. You know, where we have really that moment where you've fallen in love with this motorcycle. You know, that moment when you realize that this is the right choice I have made.
Every
you
ride.
know, like it's.
At this point, every ride.
But unfortunately, this is your only first motorcycle,
Yeah.
so there's not much to
Memory to relate to.
My favorite memory, so in the year 2020, just after I had picked up the bike, so we made an impromptu overnight plan to go to this place in Rajasthan called Beda,
Okay.
Javai Band.
And how far from Delhi would this be?
This would be 700-800 kilometers from
Wow.
Delhi.
Okay.
And we did it in one single shot. We did Om Bana and then we came back on the highway and then we went to Beda. So the famous thing about Beda is that it has got the highest leopard density in the world.
Oh, that incident. Okay.
ठीक है.
Wow.
So it was night and it was drizzling a bit. We lost our way. So 25 kilometers I rode the rocket through jungle and practically no roads.
Wow.
I was shit scared that something will happen to the bike will fall off, and in the middle of this jungle, who's going to come in? Nothing happened. Smoothly, we crossed that stretch. I crossed because I was the only guy with the rocket. I crossed that stretch, and there was a puddle of water, and people were hesitating. Should we go in? Should we go in? मैंने कहा, if we have done so much, I went
Straight
went
up.
through it straight up. It was like something I will never forget, and it's one of my favorite memories because I was not expecting the bike to be able to take such a punishment on off-roading, which it did beautifully.
That's very surprising. That's
Which
very
it did
true.
beautifully.
That is something really good.
Because even in all these whatever 20 whatever something kilometers I've covered, I've not had a major issue with this bike ever. It's just smooth. You check the tire pressure in the morning.
Yeah.
And you reach your
Fill in
destination.
gas and just
you
reach
keep-
out. Yeah.
And you reach your destination. Period.
सी एंड अगर क्वालिटी कंट्रोल के बारे में बात करनी है ना, तो फिर ये बंदा ये बता सकता है इसने 22 से 23,000 किलोमीटर तो एक सेट ऑफ टायर्स पे चलाए हैं।
Which is phenomenal. Could be a world record, I would
Could be
say.
a world record.
Probably.
एक सेट ऑफ टायर्स पे 23,000
But
किलोमीटर।
that just
ARAI
tells
is
us-
going to come to him now for the testing. He's the manual tester. You have digital testers and you have manual testers. But see, that is mindset and consistency. This gentleman has that mindset and consistency that on tap, on throttle, on that same level, he can go on and on and on and on.
ये ड्यूरासेल बन जाता है।
Yeah, but
एक बार throttle दे।
yeah, it's and that is an amazing talent to have. Unfortunately, I do not possess any of those good qualities.
Neither
A
patience.
motorcycle is my bad habit. It's my vice. It is something where once the helmet goes on, everything shuts off. It's just you, yourself, your motorcycle, and where I think when
You're
you
in
ride
a
so
zone.
much,
You're kind of in a zone.
you're in your zone. And
Absolutely.
nothing
That's
comes
what
in
it's
your
supposed
way.
to be.
You're in nobody's way. You're just riding the way you love to ride. So there'll be a couple of 100 kilometers you're going to be in. It actually also depends on the music you're listening to. So if you're listening to some chill genre, oh, let's cruise it out. But the moment the track hits something and Google says, nahi, abhi thoda bhagate hain.
Whack
And
it.
yeah, and the motorcycle is just ready to do whatever you want it to do.
That's
There's
When did-
always juice on the throttle.
Always.
Always is the throttle. Always is the throttle.
So when did you fall in love with the motorcycle? When was your in love moment? That palat ke ek baar dekhna.
So before this, I would say this is the only motorcycle in the world where you can fall in love with it ignition पे। जो twitch है ना,
I can relate.
अगर वो twitch तुमने feel कर लिया,
I can relate. Yeah.
then उसके बाद and plus वही यहाँ से चक्कर काटा इधर, so because I was already on a Thunderbird, I knew that maneuver करना
So you're at love at
global.
ignition, huh? Love at firing up.
So frankly, as I said that I did get intimidated by the earlier model, and this one was no less. In the sense, yeah, this looks a lot sportier.
Of course.
But then,
no doubt.
even taking that small round, I could make out that to maneuver this bike is not going to be, too much work. And so first time, I took the bike from here to the service center. And itne traffic mein, I was doing some 90 and I did not realize it. So for a 2500cc bike, which is almost 300 kgs,
In traffic to have that moment.
traffic and to have that movement, जो तुम lean करो bike अपने आप lean कर दे.
That was a
So
love moment.
I think it's been 7 or 8 years. I don't drive my cars anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like
I
my
think the
bike
last
is
time
my
I saw
first
him-
mode of transport,
Yeah.
and the bike still remains to be so.
So I took home.
Your love
and
moment.
I say, so I was the first ride that day I took, and this was weekday, and then weekend I took out in the evening around 9:30, 10. So gone to Marine Drive and came back. I was stopped at least by 5-7 guys while going and 5-7 guys while biking. Everywhere I stopped, sir, kinare. One time the police wala stopped. He said, इसका registration हो गया? नंबर प्लेट है. Right. He said ये देखा नहीं कभी. तो मैं क्या नहीं आई.
वैसे आपकी शादी हुई सर 4 बच्चे नहीं 4 बच्चे तो पर शादी हुई कि नहीं?
So that is how it is. So he must be positive. So he said कि साहब देखें क्या मैंने कहा तो देखो. So he came, sat, clicked this that, and then finally I was stopped by 2 guys chasing me and nearby. They were chasing me. I didn't realize it because I was listening music. I said they were chasing me. First time he came and ऐसा करके. मैंने अब ये कौन आ गया भाई? बिल्कुल घर के पास में. He said सर हमको फोटो खींचनी है. मैं उसकी तरफ देखा. अरे मैंने कहा प्लीज बोल दे. कहता प्लीज सर फोटो खींचनी है. It was like मैंने I just opened the फोटो खींचनी है. तो मैंने बोला प्लीज बोल दे यार. कहता प्लीज सर फोटो खींचनी है. मैंने ओके खींच ले.
ले भाई बड़ा बोले तो ले प्लीज भी ले यार चल तू छोड़.
And then I took Ashutosh and then we went to this Manor.
Okay.
And then when I opened the throttle,
That throttle response is your
and then
love
I
moment.
said, okay, here I am, right? So that's how it is.
Nice.
So that's how.
I
When you
think-
open the throttle and then I say whole issue is you don't realize its maneuverability till the time you go above 80, 90, 100.
It's just
So
getting
then-
started at that speed. I
Then
think.
you
to give it the
realize,
momentum.
okay, you can actually tilt it to the core, you know.
Yeah.
And you don't say the first time for couple of
That
days you
reminds me
don't
again,
tilt
new
it
foot
because you the fear there कि boss there is कहाँ तक जाएगी
And
जाएगी.
you don't see any protection there,
हाँ,
like
हाँ,
you've
कुछ
been
दिखता
used to
नहीं,
a
अगल
Harley.
बगल कुछ है नहीं. हाँ हार्ले में तो दिखता है चलो पैर बच जाएंगे. इसमें तो कुछ दिखता नहीं. ये कहाँ तक जाएगी. 1 डिग्री 2 डिग्री 10 डिग्री 15 17 18 बोले नॉट बैड. एंड देन यू कीप ऑन इंक्रीजिंग इट. से पहले तुम 60 पे आते हो फिर 100. सो देन यू 120 पे भी टिल्ट करते हो तुम. सो दैट्स व्हाट इज हैपनिंग.
No, I took इसको दो I was on a heavier bike prior to this. लेकिन उसके बाद भी I took probably 2-3 weeks कि अपने आप को जो है ना क्रिश्चनिंग बिल्कुल करेक्ट तरह से होनी चाहिए. टेल्स वेल्स तो क्योंकि वैसे ही लॉकडाउन था तो अपने शूट पे ही जा सकता था मैं. उससे ज़्यादा तो कहीं जा नहीं सकता था. बट देन अगेन यू नो फॉर मी दिस इज ये मेरा असेसमेंट है दैट एनी बाइक अगर ट्रैफिक सिचुएशन में आप उसको मैन्यूवर कर सकते हो ना तो हाईवे पे मोर और लेस वो अच्छा ही परफॉर्म करेगी.
Yes.
Yeah, but training में वही सिखाते हैं ना कि you do like slow riding.
So given all that, I think what really is a fall in love moment for me on the rocket. I mean, I think I must have ridden it around a couple of 3,000-4,000 kilometers before I had the opportunity to ride it down to the south.
Yeah.
So Varun ji, your most extreme ride on the rocket.
बम्बई की सड़क पे चला लो तो वो अपने आप एक्सट्रीम राइड ही है. And
Yeah, but going up and down the shootings, I remember you telling us around the city.
so yeah,
बारिश में भी.
बारिश में भी एंड फ्रैंकली इट रियली डजंट मैटर टू मी.
Okay.
बाइक जो है वो बारिशों में अंदर डाल दो क्योंकि
हाँ,
उसमें
that's not your
कीचड़
way.
लगता है ना. दैट्स नॉट माय वे. मतलब यू राइड इट देन यू राइड इट एनीवेयर एंड एवरीवेयर.
All seasons.
And in traffic situations, I have done off-roading on this bike in the sense नायगांव जाते हुए मैं सड़क के ऊपर चढ़ा के और आधा किलोमीटर वहाँ से निकाल के लेके गया.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
It was like मतलब टाइगर शर्मिंदा हो जाए ना वैसे वाले.
Barmer to Udaipur could be extreme.
हाँ बाड़मेर
Barmer and
उदयपुर
Rajasthan to
में
Udaipur. Wow.
we all experienced that particular patch of good 50
But that's when I
kilometers.
told you how amazing this motorcycle is, the abuse it can take, and you know, I don't even think the designers ever fathomed that this motorcycle would be on those
When I was
roads.
buying this bike, that time I was asking people on YouTube, on passing comments on their channels, ki bhai, how does it work on stones? Because you are riding on nice roads, those we don't have over here. How does
We
it
have
feel
patches
to
of bad
ride?
roads, yeah, but
like
how
a
does that-
repair pack. I am not going to ride my bike on an off-road. like, bhai, we are doing it every day here.
Never wish too soon.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was so frustrating that 30-32 की स्पीड थी. अब मैंने सोचा यार क्रूज कंट्रोल और कर देता हूँ.
नहीं होता.
नहीं होता, that's
नहीं
another
होता.
thing.
और 180 और 160 के ऊपर भी नहीं होता. ट्राई कर चुके हैं.
So ये जो है basically, but one good thing was that even though the footprint of the rear tire is 240 mm, which is huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
मैंने आज तक टर्न्स में जो कि बाकी बाइक्स पे हुआ है मेरे से, that you feel that shift on the corners. I haven't experienced that ever.
Wow.
With a few other bikes which had a bigger footprint, even the front tire, they become slightly difficult to
Sluggish.
pull. That doesn't happen on this one. So I think the rake angle, the brake, in fact the balance.
They mastered it. It's
That's what's
absolutely
come through, yeah.
precise.
I think with the engine block in the
even if you
center.
look at the front wheel, it's a little offset. If you all have realized, to manage the length of the motorcycle, it basically maneuvers very very naturally. It's not an artificial ride. What I mean to say is that if you've ridden a Storm or you've ridden a bigger bike before, you have to deliberately go on counter steering very hard.
Yeah.
But on this one, it's very natural with your riding.
It's almost
style,
like
right? It's
after
like
a
you look
Thunderbird
and it
Storm,
drops in.
this one feels like 100cc, and I am not joking about
Yeah,
that.
I can relate because I have had the privilege to
feeling.
take your bike home and back for about a month, and I've been riding in this madness
In the city of Mumbai.
in the city,
on the streets.
and it's outstanding.
Because
So
I went back
outstanding.
onto my bike, the Thunderbird. I had it for a month last year.
In New Delhi.
Because my friend has it in Delhi now.
Yeah.
And I did Delhi Dehradun.
Wow.
But on the very first day, उसको पहले turn में I realized that no, I am
It's
riding
front heavy.
a completely different motorcycle now.
So Keshav bhai, the big man, what was your extreme moment with the rocket?
So once I got comfortable, so
This summer you did some fun stuff with the rocket.
yeah, summer also. Before that also, it was 23rd of December. It was a snow in Shimla,
Okay.
and I was going to say my son was with me on the pillion. So I took it. I crossed first snow frost roads after Shimla,
Wow.
going to Mashobra, and finally good road, some 10 kilometers. There was like half snow, half road, half snow, half road. I managed it with pillion sitting, and finally there was like very thick ice, and they said, okay boss. I braked it, and then it slipped, then I parked on the side. And then it gave me confidence. And last summer I took my 16-year-old boy, which is like taller than me, to
he's big.
Leh. Right, all the way up.
huh?
Yeah, to Leh.
And you did
So-
Leh not from the Srinagar route. You took Leh from the Darcha Sarchu route.
Aren't you both the only people right now?
No,
in
we have
entire
about
India
no. We're
who've
about
taken it to Ladakh.
No, I think there's 3-4 of us. The two of us are
okay.
here,
So-
and maybe there are another two. in
With
the country.
pillion, I'm the only one. Let's put it
pillion,
that way.
oh, yeah.
And which
For
is
sure.
same weight, same height, probably more height, more weight than me. Right.
Wow.
So I took it from Chandigarh to Manali to Sarchu to Leh.
all the way up.
But Keshav bhai, how did you manage it? I mean, with a pillion.
It-
I mean,
it
it's
just-
not an adventure bike at the end of the day,
you
right?
don't. So the whole issue is you don't lean too much,
Okay.
right? Because he is a first timer sitting
back, yeah,
sitting on the
the
back.
weight
He
management.
doesn't know how to manage the weight.
Right.
Right. So ask him ki don't put your foot down. So even the vehicle is stopped, he's not putting foot down. I said, how will I manage it? You know? So he said, you asked me not to put the foot down. I said, okay. I said, like,
Down the
okay, so
plane.
that's. But I climbed Khardungla, was sitting behind. Like it just keep on
Goes
going.
on and
It
goes
goes
on.
on and
There's
on.
never,
So whole
like,
thing
lack
is that
of-
you don't lean too much. That's the whole learning I had when I was sitting behind. But since I did Shimla with him, so it like okay. But this was like far more this thing.
Adventurous, right,
adventurous,
yeah.
very sharp turns. But that's
Motorcycle
okay.
to be
Because
like
I
a
managed it
But at
without
that
any.
altitude, with like let's say cobble road or absolutely no road in certain parts, it just
So
kept
when
going.
when it became too this thing, ki, okay, you can't take the pillion. I had to ask him to just
Get into
get
the
down,
car.
and then those patches of
patches, yeah, just a
few
few
5,
patches,
10,
yeah.
15, 20 meters. You just okay, boss.
No, but even on this recent ride to Rajasthan, Ranakpur temple पहुंचने से पहले there was a stretch of good 20 kilometers,
Fantastic road.
which was curvy, single lanes, and जिसमें कि दूसरी तरफ जो है you do not even have a mud track, वो single lane गिरती है सीधा
Straight down.
pebbles पे
Oh my god.
और उसके बाद straight down.
Wow.
But you know, for a bike this big, उसमें आपको गड्ढे मैन्यूवर करने हैं, अपने आप को सड़क पे रखना है जितना हो सके, वरना
It keep
कितना
to the edges very well because of that balance.
उसमें भी मतलब आप हल्का सा लीन करो और वही है मतलब टारगेट फिक्सेशन वगैरह तो
correct.
क्योंकि वो 10-15 की स्पीड से ऊपर आप जा नहीं सकते
right.
बट इट बिकम्स मोर डिफिकल्ट टू हैंडल अ हैवी बाइक
Yeah.
एट दैट स्पीड
Yeah.
एंड यू डोंट फील द वेट एट ऑल
Yeah, I agree.
Just on that note, a lot of people ask me when they stop, like, how do इतनी बड़ी बाइक आपको they look at me and they're like, इतनी बड़ी
They
बाइक
share the same.
आपको पेलती कैसे? Well, the point is, after doing all this, I've realized was if I can do this bike,
anybody.
then anybody can. It's just because a bit of patience and it's like learning curve है इसको.
Yeah.
And you have to respect the
You
machine.
have to understand that it is eventually,
Yeah.
while it looks small, you are sitting on the largest, probably production motorcycle engine in the world.
True that.
Everything is on your wrist.
Yeah.
Like, well, we are happy that we have these electronic aids now. That you have the flick of a wrist and you can switch on between the modes and all. But the previous generation was absolutely mad and
Yeah.
madness. It's the rider that had to learn.
So this bike-
I have, sorry to cut you off, but I have unfortunately had a bad incident where I kind of became too comfortable with the older genre, and I took it for granted, and it instantly told me that, boss, you don't do that with me. I'll give you a nice one back. You know? So I was taking a turn and enjoying the whack. You just whack it and the wheel comes out and settles back in, and I'm enjoying it. And just once I did it a little too soon. It almost went down, touched the foot peg, came back up. Exactly in that position on that roll only and roll and pitch, I pressed the clutch, I put it in neutral and I said, हाँ, मेरा हो गया. इससे ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं.
उसके बाद 20-25
It's told me that boss, you better watch out.
But the power in this is phenomenal. Like, I've done 50 kilometers or 50 kilometers per hour on 6 gear.
Yeah.
And then just waited for like the traffic to ease out.
Yeah.
And straight away just open it evenly.
Yeah.
It overtakes 3 cars, 1 truck, one bus.
So on this point, we've had some mad ride, 3 of us. We've captured it on GoPro, I think, while going towards Gujarat. And there's a video where Arjun and Keshav Bhai are far ahead and I'm chasing them. And from behind the video, when you see the rocket approaching, while I think we were doing about 210, 220, and it's just there. We see the wrist movement in the GoPro and it just stands up, comes close and disappears. That's it. Like, where is the bike? You blink 2-3 times and it's gone.
You take this bike on curves, you take this bike on straight lines, you take this bike. You know, I think but it's favorite environment.
Yeah.
Coming to the favorite environment for the bike. See, every motorcycle has a certain purpose that it's built for.
Yes.
I think this motorcycle is a tarmac motorcycle.
Yeah.
It is.
And
You
when
would
it
know
comes
it
to
best,
a tarmac
especially with
motorcycle,
the
yeah,
south
because
ride that
where,
you've
where,
done.
where all of us have ridden this. See, all of us have taken it to dirt patches. Half our highway sometimes have a diversion which has a dirt patch. So I mean, we've all taken it through a lot of different terrain. But where this really comes into its element, I feel, is on any nice national highway.
Yeah.
Yes.
This
Can't agree
motorcycle hates the first gear. It barely tolerates the second gear. It starts smiling a little in the third gear. By the time you knock it into fourth, it's a little competitive. It's like, okay, are we doing this? Are we really doing this? Are you going to twist that throttle?
Yeah.
The fifth gear, this bike is having fun. I mean, you're just on it, you're twisted it out and chalo, this is fun time. And on the sixth gear, when you finally kicked it up and you're just going against the wind into the straight, this bike is spiritual. Like I'm telling you, we did about 1100 kilometers, 1157 kilometers when we did Bombay to Hosur in about 10 hours of riding time.
That's mad, huh?
That's mad.
So
That's literally
taking and
you're averaging
as
out
soon
at
as you
150.
exit Maharashtra, you've crossed Kolhapur, and everybody who's ridden the motorcycle or any bike or driven on those roads also knows how those roads open up.
Wow.
Guys, this motorcycle just wanted to go. You know, it's like that movie Seabiscuit. Once it got its vision into its side, it's like, boy, we're doing this. Nothing is coming in
I'm
our way.
having goosebumps,
And
man.
I have never gotten wind slapped on this motorcycle, and that is something I really appreciate. Even on the Hayabusa, if you're riding, you're doing a curve and you know you've taken it down, you're in the stance. But if there's a wind or a crosswind that's hit you, I have changed lanes.
Yeah.
But with this motorcycle, you are so steady. You're in your line.
Because 300 kg on the road, the wind.
But
it
also-
has a limited
but
impact.
I did experience a wind
aerodynamics.
slap.
How it lets you cut the wind.
The storm.
No. On our ride to Rajasthan.
Yeah.
And in fact, both MG and I were together.
Okay.
And it was hard.
Yeah.
but it did not throw me off.
Okay.
But still, you know.
But you could feel the moment.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
could.
Big one.
And but you know, one more thing about this bike, and MG and I were discussing it during the trip. That every road that you ride on,
Right.
the road tells you exactly what should be your speed limit. You know, whether you can do a 90 or a 100 or a 120 on that.
Correct.
But even on the best of roads,
Yeah.
personally for me, you can just open the throttle and let the bike go.
Yeah.
I think the sweet spot of this bike is 120, 125.
It
where
can lays out entire day on the
True,
speed.
we did that.
120,
Like, literally.
125, you put it even in the cruise control and just let it be.
Yeah.
In the sense that the wind is not pushing you back,
Yeah.
right? You're not getting tired.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, the moment you do 150, 160, 180, when you go into that zone,
Yeah, yeah.
you need to concentrate a lot
Yes.
more.
The body tires out fast.
The Thunderbird, I thought the sweet spot was 105, 95, 105 because it had a stiffer throttle. Not this one. So 120, 125 I think is the sweet spot where you can just ride it for hours together without feeling tired. That has been my experience.
Right.
I've
gonna put
had
you on the spot.
bigger capacity motorcycles since 2013, but none of them had riding modes.
Okay.
So to be able to change riding modes and the way the bike responds after you change the
electronics
riding mode
package.
is
Huge
something.
difference. Rain
On
mode,
this
both.
bike.
Me, Badola ji, we were discussing on the ride, and Badola ji, I think, had for the first time put his bike in sports mode
Yeah. on a highway.
on a highway. Because I, for this thing on in the city only, I keep it in the road mode.
Yeah.
Else it will go on sports mode always.
Okay.
So the fuel consumption is higher, which is.
I'm rain or road, but this is good to know that the electronics package is something you've really played with and enjoyed.
Really enjoy. Another thing, the balance of the bike per se, in terms of the way it handles curves, it leans, it comes back up, is it's like poetry in motion.
Your favorite feature, sir, of the bike? One thing.
The cruise control. Frankly, on the recent
won't
ride, it was only on the
deny that,
penultimate
yeah,
day that I realized कि सामने वाला जो है वो अपना हाथ कमर पे रख के चला रहा है और मैं फिर भी रेस मार मार के उसके पास नहीं पहुंच पा रहा हूँ. And then I realized, yeah, ये तो मेरे पास भी ये feature. I had completely forgotten about it because let's face it, when you're riding in Bombay traffic, you obviously can't use that mode. So that
The
was the
cruise
day
control.
that I realized that okay, I have a cruise control too.
Yeah.
And one thing, and the sports mode for a very simple reason कि जब तुम sports mode पे डाल के उसका throttle खोलो, I was already doing 100, sixth gear. So torque जो है वो usually is reserved for the initial gear,
Yeah.
right? Sixth gear पे मैंने उसको जो rev दिया है, तो पूरी बाइक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट की.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
I know what
it-
you're trying to say. Yeah.
It just went like a bolt, and it is not subtle. It is
Yeah.
The
3D,
feedback from the bike is phenomenal. See,
It's
I'm
like
the kind of rider who thrives on motorcycles feedback to you. If the bike is like very smooth without like a Goldwing, for example, it is so smooth that it won't give you any feedback whatsoever.
Yeah, it's
But this machine,
overstimulating.
I had my apprehension. I thought that since the level of sophistication has gone many notches up, maybe the motorcycle won't give me the feedback that I'm looking at. But no, it gives you.
Pleasantly surprised that it
It's-
gives you
it's
exactly
phenomenal.
what you want. Your favorite feature of the bike, Alok bhai?
I have simple expectations. The fact that
favorite feedback part, the tires
and brakes.
and brakes. Yeah.
No, but honestly, the favorite feature of your bike,
Favorite
like
features,
if you have to point it down.
there is no chain. It's a shaft drive. So because I reach, I don't need to have that thing of clean the chain every 5-8.
Okay.
That's
So you're more
I
on
go
the
with-
engineering than
I've
it's a
gone on
shaft
some,
drive.
I've gone on some group rides and these poor chaps are like, clean the tires and I'm just like watching, karo.
So that's
it's
something that's a low maintenance.
low
So
maintenance thing.
From a maintenance point of
And
view,
secondly, even the fact
and the
that
drivetrain.
right, and the fact that you go on corners, right? You can actually do a lean. And if I see gravel in front, I still have confidence. That, okay, this bike will not go under me. I can still like brake a bit, get my thing sorted out, take the turn with the gravel there as well.
Body
And
correction and then
body correction is there, so I don't feel scared. Even it's such a huge bike.
Lovely.
In fact, it's surprising how it brakes
Yeah,
also.
no.
Yeah.
Great
So
brakes.
the braking is immense. I mean,
Your
you,
favorite part of the bike? Feature. One feature.
It stops.
Brakes,
It
right?
stops.
it stops.
It stops.
It
I
stops.
remember I was trailing Arjun on one of the Machan rides and there was such a sharp corner because I've been there many times. I
But
knew
the
that
bike
was,
runs the new Brembo Stylema.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
got
think
one of
this
the
is
best brakes.
Yeah, so
Across
It
in the
stops.
world
Stops.
right now
It
at
stops.
least.
So
it
any,
stops.
so my concept is you can put any bigger engine. You can go on a speed, but it has to stop, right?
It stops, exactly.
Right.
Correct.
So life,
One thing.
life,
How
life,
soon it gets you back to
life
zero.
rests on how it stops.
stop.
Absolutely.
So probably
How
I'm-
soon it stops?
It has to stop. When you need it, it has to
I mean,
stop.
everybody can touch top speeds, but how soon
Yeah.
it
Speed is
stops?
okay.
stops.
Everybody
I
can
was-
put engine and then put it
And
on.
it's surprising that a bike with 320 kilos and then you as a rider, your weight and the stuff that you carry along with that,
It
the
stops.
braking power is outstanding to be
Not it
honest.
stops.
So
yeah.
that
I
is
remember
exa-
I was trailing you and I almost thought you're going off, man.
Yeah.
I
No,
really
no,
thought
but
that
it's
you
just a
know, you're
correction
going to go
on,
off. In a blink of an eye, you made that correction, you saw the corner, you braked and just banked in like a super bike would, you
but
know?
yeah, it's just
this
a
is
moment.
where so as you ride your bike and
Yeah.
obviously the braking,
Yeah.
you'll only realize how good or bad
Yeah.
it is when you're doing slightly higher speeds.
Correct.
And well, no offense meant, but even with the Thunderbird Storm, I did not have complete confidence in the sense that if I was doing 120, 150.
I can relate. Yeah.
So now on this ride, for the first
You can
time, I had to jam my brakes. And then, the kind of roads that we ride
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
let's face it, slight dust or gravels can, then brakes basically mean nothing.
Correct.
Your bike can still drag forward, but it didn't.
Yeah, it brakes very well. That
it
is
brakes
one
very
thing
well.
that we have to appreciate. I mean, about the
Yeah, I mean
Rocket
the
is
new
that it's
caliper,
got
the front ones,
phenomenal
I'll
brakes.
100% agree with you. I think the rear ones need some work, but we'll get there.
The rear brakes.
The rear brakes. I mean, that is something I think can be better. It's a work in progress. It's the first iteration, so we all know that. And I think we
I think
globally
a lot
discussed
of
it.
people have tried doing things like taking the air bubbles out, and for me, it has never worked.
Yeah, I know it's a regular service interval, and thankfully the guys at Shaman have been amazingly supportive, and I am there almost every fortnight to get it done, or maybe once a month that it has to get done. We bleed them, we recalibrate them, and they're ready to go. But then again, after a few thousand kilometers, we need to go back there and have them because it gets spongy. So the rear brakes, that's very valid. An improvement for you, Badolaji? That you think?
I would say the same because.
No, you can't say the same. You say something different.
See, basically, I don't
Some
really
improvement.
like.
Whether it could even be the seat, comfort.
No, the seat is okay.
Cushioning.
If I have to be ultra critical,
Yeah,
then I
some
would
improvement.
say that probably the windshield.
The windscreen.
The windscreen could be bigger.
So the OEM windscreen can definitely be bigger.
Okay, so the OEM windscreen, I think it can be bigger because at 125 and above, 130 and above, you do feel
Wind buffeting.
the pushback,
Yes.
and which can be really done
The
away with.
OEM windscreen. That's a great improvement. I think that also really plays a part.
Because it
should
also,
be a-
pushes your head back.
An improvement on the
after-
motorcycle.
Windscreen as
can't say the same point.
windscreen and I say slightly the backrest, no, some backrest is
Some more
required.
cushiony-
some more,
cushiony.
not the seat is comfortable, so some back. matlab
The lumbar
there's-
support.
the lower support, the lumbar support, what do you call it?
Or
like
any
this.
attachment to do.
anything is slightly
A
like-
lumbar support or some kind of.
some the tailbone has to be because it's moving all the time because seat is big and you're not stuck in. When you go on 100, then you
correct.
just so you just need something there back of it, and
Just
then
a
you
small
just
kind of a support.
whatever say a seat tilted toward whatever is there because seat
Correct.
So
opens up.
it does come like kind
हाँ,
of a lumbar
you-
support, but
so
that
when
is
you
maybe.
go above 100 now you are stable but your back is not stable.
Correct.
Right? It's something because you're a heavy one, so that's the only.
In conclusion,
To conclude all of this, it's been a great interactive session. Once again thank you all for being here and giving so many insights, about, we've learned on a lot of pointers, but we've done this in 2021 and 22. What's coming next, guys? 2023 should be something.
I think this is
that
something
we
you
look
need
forward
to,
yeah.
point a roadmap at it. What can we do with
So-
the rockets next?
How about we take the ultimate motorcycle and you all to Natrax?
Dude, now that can't be a teaser, dude. If you say that, you've got to do
Well,
that.
I'm gonna work towards it. I mean by it, let's all of us be there and then those who haven't been above 140 have a peaceful environment and feel
Yeah, I mean, taking the
the-
rocket to Natrax would be a dream.
what it
I mean,
may
because
feel like to be
we've
heavenly.
got straight lines, we've got tracks, we've got off-roads, we've got trails, we've got literally everything at the largest.
Slush, mud, beach,
everything.
sand.
It's got
Everything. I mean, someone taking the rockets to Natrax would be. I mean, I'm excited. We count you down.
Just tell me to show up.
Yes, that's
the
the
game then.
rocket and Natrax.
Sign me up.
Yes,
I'm already
that's the
mentally
one.
there. I'm already mentally there.
No, but it'll be really good fun, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think that would be a fantastic one.
That'll be one hell of a capture altogether.
And I think we'd have a lot more to talk about the motorcycle once we've pushed it to all its limits, and it's pushed us to all our limits.
Absolutely.
On those,
Absolutely.
tracks and trails. That would be fantastic. Lovely
Sounds
being
good.
here.
Thank you so much, guys.
for
Thank
having
you
us,
for being
man.
here.
Thank you, Arash.
So my first impression on the rocket was insane. When Triumph announced that they are bringing the Rocket 3 down, I was in love with the previous generation itself. It was huge. I remember my mom coming and standing next to it, and it's like she and the rocket were almost of the same height. I still have that picture. And honestly speaking, I've been seeing the rocket since I was a kid. So it was a small 13-year-old boy just cycling around. And luckily, I happened to see Jimmy Mystery, who bought a brand new Rocket 3 back in 2004. It had just launched and it had come in Mumbai. And probably the entire biking community back then were in awe that one of the largest production motorcycle engine is here, So a small kid would go down there, take a ride, come back every single day. It was huge, had a flat handlebar, it was big. I still remember those two exhausts on one side and one exhaust on the other side. And you rightly mentioned, many a times this happens. When you crank the throttle is the first time that you fall in love with it. He cranks the throttle and the whole motorcycle moves sideways. It actually has it. It actually has it. So it goes. I shit you not. I'm not exaggerating, guys. But if the bike was about 20 feet ahead, I could feel the vibration under my leg right here. Literally, it was insane to another level. I think probably the Rocket is the most badass, most biggest, and the nicest motorcycle that money can buy. One of them. There are lots of them, but this is one of the most insane or baddest motorcycles that you can buy. So I was really in awe, especially when they first time brought down the new generation of the Rockets. It was much lighter than the previous one. It looked much more better, nicer, very manageable. When I got a chance to ride Keshav Bhaiya's bike, in fact, it was the first bike that we actually registered, and I happened to take it to the RTO and back. It was insane. Everything, every inch, every notch about that bike or that motorcycle is different. All it does is just leaves you in awe and surprise. So completely flawed. Like ever since then, luckily we've sold about 40 rockets here, and across India maybe close to about 150, 200. So I sincerely urge all the Rocket 3 enthusiasts to come down to the showroom, speak to us, get a chance to throw your leg on, ride it, feel it, and you'd know exactly, precisely what we've just mentioned.